Tonight, vigils being held in Waukesha, Wisconsin, as residents remember those who died and were injured when an individual drove an SUV through an annual Christmas parade on Sunday. At least 5 confirmed dead, dozens more injured. The fire chief today said first responders who had been in the military likened it to a war zone. Omar Jimenez is in Waukesha with the details, including what we now know about a suspect in custody.
A shocked community learning the names of the neighbors they lost.
Virginia Sorensen, 79-year-old female. Leanna Owens, 71-year-old female. Tamara Durand, 52-year-old female. Jane Kulich, 52-year-old female. Wilhelm Hospital, 81-year-old male.
The victims, 5 in all, ranging in age from 52 to 81 years old.
We have multiple casualties. People down in the street. 40 casualties down Main Street.
Along with the dead, 48 people were injured, some as young as 3 years old. 18 children, including 3 sets of siblings, are being treated at Children's Wisconsin, a hospital in Milwaukee.
2 of the 48 are children, and they're in critical condition.
Injuries ranged from facial abrasions to broken bones to serious head injuries.
Police identified the suspect as 39-year-old Daryl Brooks.
The suspect, prior to the incident, was involved in a domestic disturbance.
Brooks was released on $1,000 bail earlier this month in connection to charges including domestic abuse. He allegedly ran over a woman with his car, and the incident came after another 2020 case where he was charged with 2 counts of reckless endangering safety. He allegedly fired a gun during an argument. CNN reached out to his attorney from the incidents but did not get a response. Meanwhile, new audio of the parade incident makes clear the chaos of the moment, heard in the voices of the first responders.
I ran it. I escaped. Black male. I couldn't stop it. He's going westbound. Blowing his horn. We're to all the hospital.
Along the parade route, Kaylee Sterrell thought at first the vehicle was in the parade. Seconds later, she realized it wasn't.
You see people running around and screaming and crying and running into the storefronts. And you realize that like this is real, this is serious, and people are hurt because of it.
Among those dead, members of Milwaukee's Dancing Grannies. A post to their Facebook page said, "Those who died were extremely passionate grannies. Their eyes gleamed with the joy of being a granny. They were the glue that held us together." Now, as the community here tries to recover, the investigation into the suspect, Daryl Brooks, continues. He has a criminal history going back to the 90s, but on that incident that he posted $1,000 bail for, the woman he allegedly ran over claimed to be the mother of his child, and also claimed that that car part of it didn't happen until after he allegedly hit her with a closed fist. Now, the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office said that bail amount set was inappropriately low and is not consistent with their risk assessment procedure, and it is why they are now launching an internal review. On this Christmas parade incident, the suspect has his initial court appearance scheduled for tomorrow, where police have said they would be referring 5 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. John?
Omar Jimenez, thank you so much. So our next guest not only was there yesterday and witnessed the violence, he had 2 children marching in the parade. One of those children, as you see spotlighted here, nearly hit by the SUV as it went through the crowd. I'm joined now by Kelly Davis. Kelly, thank you for being with us. I'm so sorry it's under these circumstances. How are you and your family holding up tonight?
We're still in shock. You know, it was an unfortunate incident, not something you would ever expect to happen, especially at a holiday parade. I know my 2 children that were in the parade were just really shaken up last night, you know, from seeing a lot of their friends, their bandmates, you know, be hurt in such a horrific fashion. And it's taken a lot with them to try and really grasp what happened over the last 24, 36 hours here.
All right, walk us through where you were on the route and when you noticed something was going wrong.
I was sitting with one of my other sons, and we were on Main Street right around East Avenue. And that's when we saw the car first coming through. And the car wasn't going that fast at first, but when we noticed the car, it was like, wait a minute, what is this? What is this person doing? This something's not right. And I thought maybe they were trying to get to the apartment buildings that were on the across the street from us. Well, as they started to keep going west on Main Street, they started getting faster, and I'm like, something's not right.
Hmm.
And then they passed over Barstow Street or Avenue, and that's when I noticed when the red SUV started to swerve in and out of the parade group.
Something's
And at
not
that
right.
point,
Yeah.
yeah, something's not right. And then I saw what I thought was kind of like a skip, like maybe it had hit a car. And that's when I said to my son, who I was with, I'm like, we got to go. Something's not right. So we took off down in that direction. And by the time we got down to Barstow, I mean, there were people running everywhere, screaming, and, bodies were on the ground at that point. And for me, it was about trying to find out where my son and my daughter were.
Now, your daughter, Isabella, right? Isabella,
Yeah, Isabel.
Isabel,
Isabel.
you
Yes.
couldn't find her. How long did it take you to
No,
find her?
took about 10 minutes to find her. I was fortunate enough as we were getting closer and closer to the accident scene. I ran across Philip, who you highlighted earlier, and he was with a couple other of his bandmates. And I just told him, look, you got to get out of this area because it's not safe right now. Go with your friends, find somewhere safe, and we will find you. And then that's when my son and I started to search for my other daughter. Now, I did have my third son,
Mm.
my oldest son, was sitting a little further down the street
Yeah.
on Buckley and Main Street, and he was coming towards the accident scene, trying to see if he could also find her.
I can't imagine what was going through your head when you couldn't find your daughter, how awful that must have been.
Right.
Nor can I imagine what it's like to see the video now that we've shown of how close the truck came to Philip.
Exactly. Later on that evening, when I was able to, actually see Philip, met up with him later on that evening, it was very disturbing to see how close he came.
And lastly, I know that you have coached kids who were hurt.
Yes.
Your children have friends who were hurt. What do you know about their condition?
A couple of kids, I've heard they're in stable condition. I know one of the kids had to go through surgery again today, and he had surgery last night. I heard he's in stable condition. So that made me happy to hear that they both
Mm.
were in stable condition and getting better. It's never easy to see kids like you said who you've coached before get injured like that. And after I found my daughter, one of the things that will always stick with me is just watching and seeing the bodies laying in the street and the blood that was all over. As much as I wanted to help, I do have to say that there were a lot of people, a lot of first responders there in the street helping everybody out. The community really seemed to have come together and really helped out in everybody's time of need.
Kelly, I'm so sorry you had to see that and go through it. I'm so happy for you that you and your children are well. Please know
Thank
that
you.
we're thinking about you and thinking about your community tonight.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time tonight.